Be vegan, repentant. Save your soul.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Наши программы предлагают много языков. Пожалуйста, посмотрите suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Traditional musical instrument, the Bandoneon, part 1 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
Bienvenidos, sabios y maravillosos espectadores. I just said welcome, wise and wonderful viewers in Spanish, the official language of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. I'm Daniel. The culturally rich people of Venezuela applaud and thank you for your harmonious contributions to the divine symphony of peace. Welcome to our program, Traditional Musical Instrument, the Bandoneon, part 1 of 2. There are countless different types of musical instruments in the world. Their melodic sounds bring comfort, beauty, and upliftment to our lives. How did musical instruments come about, and what inspired their ingenious inventors? Supreme Master Qinghai once revealed the following knowledge to us.
In ancient times, the spiritual practitioners who are connected to heaven at times try to replicate the mesmerizing, wonderful music of the celestial abode by creating instruments. So many of the instruments we have, like the harp, the piano, the violin, the flute, the Scottish bagpipes, etc., they all correlate with the sounds of real heavenly realms. Except the real ones are much more incredibly uplifting.
The bandoneon is a type of concertina that originated in Germany, but is especially popular in some South American and Eastern European countries such as Argentina, Uruguay, and Lithuania. The bandoneon falls into the category of veloce-driven free-reed instruments known as squeeze boxes and is an essential instrument in most tango ensembles in Argentina and Uruguay and in Lithuanian folk music groups. Since ancient times, numerous free-reed wind instruments have been invented. The oldest known musical instrument of this kind is a mouth organ called sheng from China, with images depicting its type dating as far back as 1100 BC. During the 18th century, the German violinist Johann Wild introduced a sheng to Russia, thus inspiring the invention of European free-reed instruments such as the accordion, concertina, harmonium, and harmonica. The German luthier Carl Friedrich Uhlig constructed his first concertina in 1834 as an improvement on the accordion keyboard developed by the Austrian inventor Cyril Demian. Uhlig's initial models were hexagonal or octagonal in shape with 5 treble buttons and 5 bass buttons. There were 2 notes on each button, producing a total of 20 notes or tones. By the 1840s, Uhlig's concertina had evolved into a square instrument with 28 buttons. During this period, Heinrich Band, an instrument dealer and bandmaster in Krefeld, Germany, played one of Uhlig's concertinas in his band. Band subsequently altered the layout of the German concertina, naming his new invention the bandoneon, a composite of band's surname and the German word for accordion. This new instrument with 50 buttons was created for use in village churches that could not afford organs and for traveling clergy who required a portable organ. The bandoneon was also used for playing popular music of that time, instead of folk music, which was the main focus of the German concertina. Over the next 30 years, the number of buttons on the bandoneon slowly increased to 53, 56, 64, and eventually 65. Around 1870, German and Italian sailors brought the bandoneon to Argentina, where it was then used by tango groups. Its sweet, melancholic sound soon received praise from the Argentines. By the early 20th century, the instruments were being manufactured in Germany, specifically for the Argentine and Uruguayan markets, with 25,000 units being shipped to Argentina in 1930. Being a portable aerophone instrument, the bandoneon consists of two square wooden boxes with buttons on the sides connected by a folding bellows. Each of the wooden boxes contains a small reed organ operated by a few rows of buttons. The bellows consists of 3 panels of 6 slices. Similar to other concertinas, it is held between both hands. By pulling and pushing, players expand and contract the bellows, providing air to the reed organs, which then produce the sounds. Pressing selected buttons directs air to specific reeds. Now let's learn about the bandoneon's construction and playing techniques. Early models of the bandoneon had various numbers of buttons in different positions on the face plates. In 1924, the number of buttons was standardized to 72. The right-hand side of the instrument is a disc and reed organ with 37 buttons for playing melody notes, whereas the left-hand side is a bass reed organ with 35 buttons for playing bass notes set at 1 octave lower. Each button can produce up to 2 notes. One note when air flows out and the bellows contract, and a second note when air flows in and the bellows expand. This means that a player needs to time the contraction and expansion of the bellows depending on what sounds they wish to create when pressing each button. This effect is called bisonoric or non-chromatic. The players need to learn 4 different keyboard layouts to play the instrument, 2 on the right hand and another 2 on the left hand buttons. In short, it's possible to produce up to 144 notes with 72 buttons. The right hand side also has a thumb lever that disengages the reed organ to enable the bellows to expand or contract without sounding any notes. The bandoneon's sound is created by having airflow across the free-moving metal plates of the reed organ, or reed tongues. The reed tongues are mounted at one end on a board, so that the other end is able to move freely. The flow channel, which has the same size and shape as the reed tongue, is located directly under it. The reed tongue vibrates when air passes through the flow channel. Hence, a note is created. A higher or lower note is produced depending on the size of the reed tongues and board openings. Although the standard bandoneon is bisonoric, unisonoric or chromatic bandoneons also exist. Unisonoric bandoneons produce the same note when opening or closing the bellows. Nevertheless, professional tango musicians mostly use bisonoric bandoneons that enable them to obtain dissonances and assonances depending on how they handle their bellows, and thus allowing them to expand their musical repertoire. In musical notation, the opening of the bellows is indicated by an A for abriendo in Spanish, whereas the closing is indicated by a C for cerrando in Spanish. The full tonal range of the bandoneon is 5 octaves. The left-hand keyboard is set at 3 lower octaves from C2 to B4, while the right-hand keyboard is set at 3 higher octaves from A3 to B6. The bandoneon is like a combination of two different instruments, with the left sounding like a cellow's warming sounds, while the right is closer to a trumpet's sharp timbres. One of the most important aspects of bandoneon playing technique is posture. Developing a good technique allows a player to achieve maximum results with minimum effort. The relationship between the hands, arms, legs, and torso is of vital importance. Hence, a good posture can give a player countless possibilities for expression, dynamics, and control over the instrument. The bandoneon can be played sitting or standing. The former being more common allows the player to use one or two knees to support the instrument, and is also the recommended posture for practicing. Standing is good for certain types of music and concerts, as it gives stronger effects. We'll now end our program with an orchestral performance featuring bandoneonist Maestro Raúl Jaurena entitled At Half Light. Lively viewers, we're grateful for your company today during Traditional Musical Instrument, the Bandoneon, Part 1 of 2. Please join us again next Wednesday, May 19th for Part 2. Up next is Shining World Education Award recipient Acharya Sonam Dorji Rinpoche. Vegan, right after noteworthy news. May our earth continue to be graced with loving and compassionate hearts.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/CTAW.
Be vegan, make peace.